How's it going, everybody? Wildman Wes here, and welcome to part 2 of What's Your Poison's Halloween and horror themed beers. This was very tough because I still had quite a few to pick from, and normally we do 4, but I figured, you know what? I've got 5 here that are pretty awesome if my mind serves me right. So, as before, one by one, we're going to try them out. We're going to see what they're like. So, let's get started. So, starting off today from Toppling Goliath in Decorah, Iowa, we have the Caramel Apple Fandango. Fandango, I don't even know anymore. And I'm just getting mixed up between movie apps and old professional wrestlers. Anyways, this is a 6.2 sour ale. And it says, this unique sour beer features rich caramel flavors balanced with the crisp tart notes of fresh green apples. All the flavor of a caramel apple, none of the stick. Well, we'll be the judge of that, won't we, folks? It also says unfiltered beer. Sediment is normal. Well, okay, well, if there's sediment in here, we're going to do the old Hefe trick. We're going to roll this can a little bit. Now, let's pop it open. I am smelling that green apple already before I even have it to my nose. Yeah, a little cloudy. Definitely looks like cider, so that's kind of cool. Let's see. Yep, definitely on that green apple. I am smelling a little bit of that caramel in there. So, oh, there we go. Ooh. Yep. That is a slightly sour ale. Definitely get that sweetness of the caramel. Apple, very, very prevalent. I would say this is very well balanced. Now, I have had the Affy Tapple promotional beer that I'm trying to remember who put it out, but I mean, I'll probably put a description on the screen and whatnot. But this one actually I think I like better than the Affy Tapple sour ale. So yeah, I could probably have a couple of these for the day. I'm gonna go ahead and say 4.5 out of 5. I mean, very well balanced, not too sweet, not too sour. It's like biting into a caramel apple. So well done, Toppling Goliath. I'm gonna finish up this one, and we're gonna move on to our second beer of the day. Alright, for our second beer of the day, it's been a while since we've done something from Three Floyds in Munster, Indiana. So, today we have Munsterfest. This is a 6.2% Oktoberfest style lager. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Wes, didn't we do an Oktoberfest lineup already? Yes, we did. However, I love the whole kaiju series of things like Godzilla and Rodan and all that, and I feel that goes into the horror aspect of this month. And I love the artwork where we have a style of Mecha Godzilla going up against something along the lines of Voltron or Power Rangers or even Manzinger. That's cool. I like that. So anyways, there is a quick description on the back of this. It says, a rich multi-Marzen style fest beer worthy of any celebration, past, present, or future. Es ist nicht normal. So, it's not normal. Well, who knows? Of course, this isn't normal for a Halloween style episode, but hey, you know what? Better late than never, right? Ooh, yes. I'm liking that amber color right there. It's light, somewhat transparent, not completely. Yep, very, very malty, very oaty. Well, for 6.2%, you wouldn't know. It's very light in body. I mean, flavor profile. I mean, I'd say it's a standard Oktoberfest lager. I mean, it's a little lighter than a lot of other Oktoberfest beers. But, I mean, I'm not saying that it's a horrible beer. It's just, it seems a little basic. And, I mean, hey, I think the artwork is not as basic, which I love the can, but the beer-wise, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give this one 3.5 out of 5, because, like I said, this one, I had a lot of hope for it. I had a lot of hype for it, and just because of that. And unfortunately, as much as that, I love my Oktoberfest beers, but this one, not really hitting a lot of check boxes for me on this one. So, but I am going to be nice and give it a 3.5 out of 5. So I'm going to sip on this a little bit and get it out of the glass, and then we'll move on to our third beer. Next up on our list today from Lionbridge Brewing in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, we have Zombie Awakening. This is a 7% black ale with coffee. We're going to read the description on here on the back. In collaboration with Scream Acres at Bloomsbury Farm, this beer is as black as the inside of a coffin. Oh, that's pretty dark. With enough dark roast coffee to put a pep in the step of even the most lumbering undead. That is very interesting. Alright, I have had this before, it's been a little while, and it's time to revisit it. Because I do like my darker ales, and I do love my coffee and my beer from time to time. It is pretty dark. For 7%, this consistency is very thin, so let's double check the smell. Oh, coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Coffee, malty. Here we go. Let's just take a drink. That is very pleasant. I mean, and it is... The coffee in this ale definitely cuts away from what can be considered booziness at a 7%er. So, I mean, it's one of those, it's so good it's dangerous. However, though light in body, the mouthfeel does get pretty heavy. So, this one I could probably do maybe about 2 at the bar or a brewery. It's actually very well balanced for a black ale with, with coffee in it. So, I mean, it tastes like black coffee with, alcohol in it, which it's not bad. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give this one 4 1/4 out of 5 because this is definitely a sipper. Definitely a sipper because you don't want to chug this one. I mean, as much as we all love to chug our coffee getting ready for work, when beer's involved, yeah, you might want to save the chugging for when you go to bed. Yeah, other than that, I'm going to sip on this a little bit more and we're going to move on to our 4th beer of the day. So for our next beer today, Becca, the good old wife, she picked this one up for me. This is from Kings County Brewers Collective from Brooklyn, New York. That's a long word phrase right there. Maybe it's the beer kicking in already. We have Nightmare on Troutman Street. This is a 6.66% West Coast style IPA. Now, what I love about this is the artwork alone, because, I mean, you have a trout that's dressed as Freddy Krueger, terrorizing people, and when I spin the can around a little bit, I will be doing more close-ups on this. You have an Elvira, you also have, like, a Count Orlok from, like, Nosferatu. Right here is kind of a hybrid between Morbius from the Marvel Comics universe as well as, like, a vampire character from, like, Scooby-Doo, which I really appreciate that. Then we move on. We've got some other kind of random characters. I mean, it looks like Scarecrow from the Batman universe, which is cool. And then on the other side, we've got ourselves either kind of like a vampire or a zombie. Either way, this demon's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, which is cool because, I mean, hey, it brings me back to my college years when I thought I was cool wearing one. But anyways, we're going to look at some of the things that are in this beer. It is a West Coast style IPA. It says it has Nelson Sauvin, Cascade, Simcoe, and Chinook hops, malted barley. Okay, here we go now. Now, I have been very timid about a lot of different hops, but as I've drank a lot of IPAs, when I think about Cascades, I think they're going to be slightly earthy, somewhat dank. I like that. But I mean, it's like the earthiness of like Simcoe and Chinook hops. I love those because I've rarely had a lot of beers that have Chinook hops in there. So, I'm going to open this up. I am excited because I'll admit I've had this one before. And I just wanted you to see exactly how I react when I drink this because it's fun. All right, dark amber color. Oh, hoppy, dank, slightly earthy. It smells like orange juice. Just the way the brewer made it. Anyways, let's have a sip. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be very biased on this one. It's 5 out of 5 because I've had a lot of West Coast style IPAs and a lot of them fairly decent, but honestly, this is probably the best West Coast IPA I've ever had. I mean, at 6.6%, it's not very boozy. It's smooth. That's the thing. A lot of times, West Coast IPAs for me, they either they have a big bite on them, or they almost taste watered down. This one it has that perfect balance of smooth hop. Just, it's crisp. It's so good. Yeah, there you go. You did that. I mean, that says it alone. I mean, normally when I let out a burp, something like that, usually it means damn good beer. I'm gonna have some more on this perfectly graded beer for today, and we'll move on to our fifth and final. We'll see you in a second. So for our fifth and final beer today, I had to do Brewery Omegang by way of Cooperstown, New York and Kansas City, Missouri, because they have some really great beers, and usually when we end some of these episodes, you have to have dessert after you have the main course. Today we've got All Hallows Treat. This is a 7.6% Imperial Peanut Butter Chocolate Stout. I'm going to be very honest, I have had this one too, and it is amazeballs! But before we open it up, there is a description, and I gotta read it. Sweet and spooky like the perfect Halloween night. All Hallows Treat rekindles your favorite childhood holiday memories. Aromas and flavors of dark chocolate, creamy peanut butter, and a soft vanilla finish with a smooth body and medium mouthfeel. It's the perfect throwback that brings you to your first bite of a chocolate peanut butter cup. Oh. Is it just me, or is any time you eat into a peanut butter cup kind of like the first time you did? It's always amazing. So, that being said, we're going to open this up, and we're going to see if it's just as amazing, which I'm pretty sure it probably will be. Oh yeah, very dark, oh yeah, that definitely smells like a peanut butter cup. Oh, it smells good, and we're going to have that taste. Very chocolatey. Peanut butter on the mouthfeel afterwards, that aftertaste. It's just like eating into a peanut butter cup, not using any brand names right now, no, other than the beer, but you know, you get the idea. I mean, this one is boozy to a degree. I mean, 7.6 isn't too crazy, but at the same time, I mean, that chocolate definitely lingers, and so does the peanut butter. I mean, they say vanilla, but I'm not really getting a lot of that. So, I mean, a little deceptive, but I mean, this is definitely a really great dessert beer, especially for all of you adults that are sitting around giving out candy, and you might have a little bit of time where trick-or-treaters aren't coming by and you need a little pick-me-up. Get yourself the All Hallows Treat Imperial Peanut Butter Cup Stout. You'll be glad you did on that one. Now that I've given that shameless plug, I do have to grade this. I'm going to say 4 3/4 out of 5. I mean, I want to give it that full 5. However, doing a retrospect and especially reading the description where it says it has like vanilla in there, but I'm not really getting it, that's where it kind of falls flat for me, just a little bit. So it's just kind of like that, you know, I love you, but you're a little deceptive. You're giving me a trick when I want a treat. So that's why I'm going to ding your grade just a little bit. But just remember, Omegang, I love you, and that's all that matters. Well, we hope you enjoyed this review for part 2 of our Halloween and horror-themed beers. If you've had these beers and you agree with me, you can leave a thumbs up. And if you have them and you don't agree with what I said, you can leave a thumbs down. It's cool. Also, if there are any type of horror or Halloween-themed beers that you've had that you haven't seen on this channel yet, leave a comment in the description below. I'll look into it for next year because, hey, I love trying out new different beers, and you know what? I want to make sure that you get to see something that you requested, because you know what? Thank you all for just being a part of this, because, you know, I've been doing this for a while now, and I have to give a shout out to my boy Hefe at Beer You Beer Me, because, as I've mentioned before, had he not introduced me to a lot of craft beers, I wouldn't be doing this today. Other than that, make sure you share on social media, push that little red button, and ring the bell for instant updates. And we hope you have also enjoyed the Shocktoberfest lineup of the 31 horror movies in 31 days. Other than that, my name is Wildman Wes, and we will see you next time on What's Your Poison, or whatever is on Dragonfire Entertainment. After all, Christmas is around the corner, and an Advent beer calendar is finally coming back to the Quad Cities. And yeah, the 24 beers of Christmas will be in full effect. Until then, thanks for watching. Enjoy. Cheers.